So this is the GOR Lesson 1 homework answers. It should be page 4 in your packet. So this is really just going over some vocabulary that you should be familiar with during this chapter. The first question we have is LQ. So I'm just going to point out LQ. LQ is right here. So it's this line. It's touching the circle in one place. That's a tangent line. So any line that touches a circle just once is called a tangent line. Number 2, WY. So let's find WY right here. Here's WY. So WY, that's called a chord because it has its endpoints on the circle. All right, as long as the endpoints of a line segment are on the circle, that's a chord. Number 3 is angle NQR. So we're just going to find NQR. So here's the N right here, and then the Q, and then the R. So you can see NQR is an angle. The vertex of that angle is on the circle. If the vertex is on the circle, it's called an inscribed angle. And we're going to talk more about inscribed angles and central angles tomorrow. X is just the center of the circle, of this smaller circle up here. We name a circle for its center, so we would refer to this as circle X. This bigger circle we would call circle P. The next one, this is an arc. So an arc can have 2 or 3 letters, but it has like a curved little arc around it instead of a straight line segment. So an arc is just part of a circle. So arc RWU. So R W U. So let me just find the W and U. Okay, so I got R, and it's on the smaller circle. So R, W, and U. So by the fact that the R is the first letter and the U is the last letter and the W is in between, that means I'm going the long way around this circle. I'm starting at R. I then have to go to the right because that's where the W is in that direction, and then I'm going to go to the U. That's called a major arc because it's greater than 180 degrees. Number 6 is just ST. ST is this line. It's actually going in between both circles, but it's just touching each of those circles once. So ST would be referred to as a tangent line. PN, number 7, PN is right here. PN is a radius of a circle. So a radius of a circle starts at the center and then it goes to the end of the circle. Angle UXY. So UXY, let's find the U. UXY is right here, UXY. That is an angle. It has its vertex in the center of the circle, so that's called a central angle. A central angle has its vertex in the center. Arc MQ is a minor arc because it's less than 180. Let's just look for MQ up here. So here's M, here's Q, so I'm going this way. If it's a minor arc, it can have just 2 letters. A major arc always has to have 3 letters. So MQ is a minor arc. It's less than 180 degrees. QN is a diameter, just to show you QN. QN, it's a chord actually that goes through the center of the circle. So QN right here, QN. R is called the point of tangency, so where that tangent line, ST was a tangent line where it actually touches a circle. At that point is called the point of tangency. UY is a secant line, so it's a line that touches a circle in 2 places. So UY is right here. So see how it goes past the circle? So it's a little bit different than a chord. YW was a chord because its endpoints are on the circle. UY is a line that extends past the circle. That's a secant. And there are going to be rules for all these lines for chords, tangents, secants, so we will be using this vocabulary in this chapter. Circles aren't necessarily hard, it's just a lot of new stuff, a lot of new vocabulary, new rules, but you'll have your rule sheet, so it should not be too bad. RQRN is exactly 180 degrees, so we refer to that as a semicircle. QRN, see how I start at Q, I go to R, and then I go to N. It's a semicircle. It's half of a circle. 14, angle MPQ is a central angle. So there are 2 types of angles that we taught you so far. A central angle has its vertex in the center. An inscribed angle has its vertex on the circle. So MPQ, that means you start at M, then you go to P, which is in the center, then I go to Q. So MPQ is referred to as a central angle. QR is a chord. It has its endpoints on the circle. So QR is right here. It's a chord. See in the bigger circle, QR. Start at Q, end at R. It has its endpoints on the circle. That is a chord. Inscribed angle, angle UYR is an inscribed angle, UYR. So UR. So it has its vertex on the circle, UYR. And the ends of the angle are actually touching the circle. So that was an inscribed angle. Number 17, arc WY is a minor arc. It's less than 180 degrees. Let me just show you. WY is right here. It's less than 180 degrees. So a minor arc is less than 180 degrees. A major arc needs 3 letters and it's greater than 180 degrees. You have to have 3 letters for the major arc. If it's exactly 180 degrees, I call that a semicircle. Okay, so next one is number 18. LN is a secant because it touches the circle in 2 places. Let's just find LN. So LN is right here. It's touching the circle in 2 places, but it's going past the circle. LN. MN could be a chord. LN is a secant. All right, radius is UX. So let's just find UX. See, that's a radius. Radius is you're familiar with those from previous years, radius and diameter. A radius is half of the diameter. So UX is a radius. And then this last one, arc RUY. RUY is a semicircle because it's half the circle. Let's just find it on the picture right here. RUY. So I start at R, I go to U, and then I continue to Y, and that's a semicircle. Okay, so that's just some circle vocabulary from lesson 1.